Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to OptionsTender. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. We're taking a look at SPX. We're going to go through all of our indicators so we can constantly learn how to interpret these indicators. Okay, they're great tools. You don't have to use them all, but when you start looking at them in conjunction, they can kind of confirm each other. So that's why we do this each and every day. We'll do it on the daily and the 65 now. We definitely want to check out NDX because it eked out a new high today, and I want to show you what happens to the indicators when that happens. And so we added on a few trades. I went through I did a video for individual stock analysis members. That's $4.99 a month. I think it holds great value, and comes with the Discord trade alerts. And I showed exactly those setups and why we chose to short the market and what leveraged instruments. So we shorted tech, we shorted Tesla, we shorted Bitcoin, and the semiconductors today. Now, I know that NVIDIA is coming next week, the earnings, but that doesn't change anything for what the overall market is doing. We may not hold the trades into earnings, but I have a good feeling that they're not going to be very good because we had the ramp up into them anyway. So let's go ahead and I'll show you Bitcoin today and definitely the Qs, but SPX will be again our overall analysis and VIX, of course, VIX, because it's been setting up a base for a long time now, and I think it's ready to run again. Okay, so we're doing this intraday about 1:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a 99-cent YouTube supporter. All right, that comes with the Discord and the trade alerts as well. It's 99 cents a month. It's just to make these videos more worth it. YouTube doesn't really pay much, and so we're starting to get a little bit of follow through here today. Okay, I got my SPX daily caution warning just now. That was that alert there. Let me close this up. And so we have SPX on the daily time frame. We can clearly see that this is good support right here at about 5,835. So we'll be looking for price to hit here. But I do, I want to warn that we don't have a weekly reversal candle. Now, it could be a very large one. It could be a doji. It could be a cloud cover. It could be anything, right? So it doesn't mean that we have to crash this week. This could be a reversal candle this week. Maybe we come down into some sort of support and then get a bounce and we have a doji for the week. So if you're trading very short term, not scalping, if you're looking for swings, maybe do them into next week at minimum. Okay, our trades were definitely out to June. So anyway, we have this near-term support, but I think ultimately price action is going to close this gap. That's what our real short-term target is, and that gets us to this trading zone right here. That was a good support zone from this consolidation here and reversal. So we have price trading back and forth here that created these two support resistance lines, and price got a lot more volatile here, so you see it trading around it, and then we had that consolidation right in the zone too. So I suspect that we'll back test here, and maybe that is our first wave. Then we get a bounce and we start heading lower. Okay, we are into resistance. We talked about it yesterday and the day before. We had this consolidation area that represented the support and resistance. So I'll duplicate that and show that this is right in the middle of a trading zone too. And we showed the volume node as well. I'll go through all that. So the moving averages, we're testing the 8 EMA right now. I think with all the negative divergences and such, it's not going to hold. We'll see what happens at the 200. If we break underneath this 200, without considering these yet, if you kind of blank out everything else, you get underneath that 200 and we can't regain it, that's a really big deal on the daily time frame. Okay, And we're looking for, I'm personally am looking for this to continue lower into much, much lower levels. If you're bullish, you really want to see this green area hold. That's the 50, and the 20 is moving up so far, but you want to see the 50-day moving average hold and then start to gain some momentum back to the upside. Now let's go through some of the indicators. My overall favorite indicator, the breadth, just falling hard. We had shown these negative divergences. When that happens, you have these tight daily time frames. You see these candles, they're just grinding to the upside. It's not unheard of for those candles to be taken out in 1 or 2 days, all right, let alone fill this gap. So could this happen all today? Could we just really take out a lot of these candles? Maybe. We'll see. Sometimes the momentum starts off slow and really starts to gain as it goes. But it's not unheard of to have these clusters of days where everybody says, oh, the market's going to continue much, much higher. And then it's all taken out in one swoop. Okay. So negative divergence, that played out. Now we want to see what happens going into these negative territories. It can be pretty violent as breadth gets weaker and weaker. And then with this type of move, with us being in the third possible or C wave that goes much lower, again, we want to see how these develop. So it's very important that these last several days to a couple weeks, you have seen this happen. So we saw it in real time, how you made the negative divergence and ended up making a new high off of supposedly good news. And now we have Bitcoin dropping. And then making another grinding new high with breadth weakening. And you could see that in the big tech stocks. They were holding everything up and now just completely dropping into bearish territory. Okay. So super important indicator, looking for reversals and seeing how the overall breadth is. Now, just from a visual, we broke down from this wedge, and I talked about this wedge, and we'll have the benefit of the doubt as well. That will make a little bit larger wedge. But we broke down from this back-tested intraday, and we're breaking down further now. So with our traditional indicators, we have the MACD rolling over. We said that first indication of that happening. We don't have a bearish cross yet. First indication from the negative divergence on the histograms with price going up, histograms going down. That says that our moving averages are converging. Now we didn't get a negative divergence here on the RSI on SPX, but we did on NDX and QQQ because we didn't make a new high today. All right, and so we're looking at this trend here. It appears at this time that this is going to break and that we're done with this move to the upside. This trend with the slow stoke gave us every single pullback, consolidation, and the trend was higher the whole time. So also a good look there. All right, and we're crossing over. We got the sell signal here at the 80, that turquoise line there. We're getting our early sell signal there. DMARC, we talked about this. Now it could be erased, being today was, yeah, it's already erased. So we were looking at a 9 count. This still means the same thing. You see how we have a 9 count there? Well, we already negated 4 candles below, 4 candles before, and so that gives us a brand new 1 here on the other side. So we'll watch this. Now we should start to see a 1, 2, 3, 4 and such to the downside. And I can't wait till the weekend video, because this will continue to work to the downside, in my opinion, where we have a wave count still intact to the downside. All right, VIX is moving. What else? Awesome oscillator starting to get a red bar. Money flow, we'll do that next with SPY. And then we'll jump over to the Qs. Okay, so the money flow, we yesterday we got into that overbought territory. Not quite there today, but that's fine. And it's close enough. especially when we're supposedly in a dead cat bounce, right? So we got to that broken down area. Here's our reversal. Let's go to the Bollinger Bands. Okay, we had our sell signal here. Way back here, even though we grinded up just a little bit higher, we still had our sell signal afterwards previously. So this, as long as you gave yourself enough time, this sell signal is good. All right, you have these highs here at 589. We're underneath it. We're 4 points underneath it. If you would have gave yourself maybe a few to a couple weeks for that to play out. So make sure you take note of that for how you play your options and such. Give yourself time. So here's the volume node right here that we're talking about. You can see over on the right hand side where price is reversing from. Elliott oscillator, not giving us a signal, but rolling over. So we have timing coming up at the end of the month. We'll see where we are when that time comes in. Nothing to look at right now. Here's our ending diagonal look. I don't want to go into that one. Here's our primary look here. We might pause here for today because it was the 786, our former possible resistance. It added as support at one time and then became resistance. So let's see what happens today. Where we stop? Do we stop here or do we break through it? So again, we're looking for this this gap to close, and it's no coincidence where that box was on SPX. That happens to be the fib cluster that created this trading formation here. And again, price traded around and lost this fib and broke down from it. So this is going to be an important area. And if you're a bull, you really want this to hold. This would be a nice wave 4 and go to new all-time highs. And we'll continue to monitor. What you want to see in this area is for price to already be oversold on the daily time frames and such. So that area is we'll call it 560 to 565. All right. Anything else we want to show here? Let's go to Qs. So the Qs got up into this price action here, and it's the mid-range, and so you're going to see a volume node there. We don't even have to bring it up to know that. So this is clearly a bearish candle. If we close with this price action here, you see we're testing the candle, or we're breaking down from the wedge right now. We eked out a new high, and the only thing I really want to show on this one is where we got divergence here. Now you can't see like it come up and get a divergence, but right here the RSI already broke down and price action made a new high. So nothing, you can't really see it, but that's fine. It's there, trust me. That burned through. We had the sell signal on the slow stoke that we're looking at. Again, that we could draw that trend line up here, and we're breaking down from it. Let's look at SMH. SMH here, just by drawing a potential trend line from it. So I say potential because there's only 2 points when we put it here before. Okay, you have this top and you have this top, and I want to see what would happen price action again. So now that we have 3 touches and a reversal from it, this has been named as a solid trend line. All right. Now, this is a good time for me to, I'm noticing this is potentially this is going to sound really weird, but a wave 4. So I'm checking out if anybody on the YouTube channel, but especially in the Discord, I'm much more available in the Discord than I am for comments. All right. So if you're in the Discord, if you're a member, 99 cents, just consider talking to me through there. And if you have worked with HUBB, HUBB, the AI Elliott waves I'm considering using. I signed up and I wanted to see, this has this as a wave 4. So very, very interesting that this is probably a wave 4. Now it could be referring this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't really give all the information yet. So we'll see how that develops, and I'll start to use it if it really shows that it's working. But I want to give it a test first before I start putting it on videos and such. All right, so anyway, reversing off of that trend line so far. So if price wants to get back above there, it's got to work hard, get above that, and continue higher. All right, and if the price action is going to be bearish like we suspect, then this trend line should hold. That's the benefit of the doubt. Now, if you move it over to the bottom of the trades there, now you have the body of the candles and you have the lows here, but we're still above trend so far. IWM. IWM has a potential channel forming and is rejecting off of there. Broke the wedge. This is just a very clean wedge here. Broke down from it today, getting bearish. And so again, this is a potential neckline here. If price action is going to go higher, we have available a 62% retracement that's higher. We only made it to the 50% of this move. And so maybe we want to see this really, really good support resistance hold here and price action go for one more high. That's all possible, you guys. And this is just setting the stage. I don't, this wasn't necessarily to trade off of. This could end up being something that's a little bit different if it works up higher. I'm just trying to get ready for the next stages that I believe are going to happen lower. And we'll have to scratch that if this starts becoming a bullish move. But so far we're hitting our reversal. This was a valid trend line. Now it was not before when I started I was moving this line up and up and up, just again setting the stage for a wedge type breakdown. If we want to use the body of this candle like all the other ones, this one fits right about there and the wedge broke down. Now a lot of times, if this geometric or potential trend line, you only have 2 touches, could hold. And then we start to fill out the wedge further. And the wedge, if you make a new high, then it becomes a really valid wedge there. But for now, that's not even a valid point. This is more like it, where you have the lows touching and the body of the candle here. So technically a breakdown. We'll see what happens later on. I'm going to do this with all of them. I'm going to move out the wedge, and we'll see how price action acts towards them. The VIX, a beautiful thing. Again, this is a base. It's forming a base, maybe even a huge left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But either way, a large base. That's why it's highlighted here. And all we're doing is testing back to the support there for the wedge. And now for the base. All right. So we're back testing this base here. We're breaking out of the wedge. I don't really think that this is going to go any lower. So anything can happen. Price will have to tell us. I can't tell you that it won't break, but this is giving us something to trade off of. So it's looking good so far. Let's see if we get some follow through. You have gaps here. You have gaps and gaps to fill. Let's go to BTC. And so getting really close to the top there, but this is really if you bring out the traditional technical analysis, we're really just in the resistance zone, and we've done nothing but go straight up. So, I'm not sure who could really play this for a breakout. You need to see some sort of correction for this to continue. Maybe this is impulsive wave 1. Now we're going to look for some sort of wave 2. You need to see these moving averages hold. This price action can come as deep as 90-some thousand here and still be bullish, holding on to this 50 moving average. Now, I'm not sure that will happen. Maybe it holds up before. But in my opinion, if the market has hit highs and it's going to reverse. I think Bitcoin is as well. It's a risk indicator at this point. I'm not sure it's decoupling from the market yet. And so this would be an impulse move. We got a deep retracement to that 887 retracement. And, this is a super volatile vehicle. So we're reversing off of it. That's a hell of a candle. Looking good so far. Trades are already working out, the ones that we just put on. So what else with this? The money flow. As soon as this happened, we made a new high today, right? Going into the 887. Well, the money's flowing out. All right. So that's retailers and institutions are selling while retailers are buying. That's what that tells me. This is a distribution. Bollinger Band. Oh, look at that. We have a hit of the Bollinger Band on the top and with an oversold or overbought RSI. That's a sell signal. Some people trade solely off of Bollinger Bands. It's a beautiful, beautiful move. So we had a slight divergence on the Elliott oscillator that says that wave 4 into 5 there of a potential correction, in my opinion, AB being down here. And then you can also even count it as an expanded flat, but I have this as a 5-wave move down here. Okay, let's let's zoom through the 65. We have our Elliott wave oscillator on here. Okay, so we have our widening formation here. To me, this is an expanded leading diagonal. And we're looking for a correction. That correction happened. We moved to we broke down from the first wedge that we have, and now there's the benefit of the doubt wedge that I was talking about. I don't like to have a bunch of lines on the daily time frame like I do on the 65. And so this is potentially an area we could hold. Maybe we get into that tomorrow and the next day and get a little bit of support off of this trend line and the gap and end up in the options expected move for the week. And then next week, we continue the move lower. But I do think this gap is going to be filled. Our primary trades are set for this gap to be filled into the beginning of June. All right. And then we have this green area where support should hold if you're a bull, but you have that potential trend line as well. So if this holds, makes a new high, obviously that's bullish. If this starts to break down, again, that was just a geometric line there, not necessarily a valid trend line. But so far, this also looks like it potentially could be a left shoulder head and then right shoulder. So we'll look for 590. If this is a impulse wave here, a motive wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, then maybe we're just going to bounce now and form that right shoulder and then start heading lower from there. All right, but all indications, we have the Elliott oscillator here that gave us the reversal signal. We have the moving averages. We're toying with the 50 moving average so far, so that's where we're getting the bounce. And this just so happens to be, I think it also matches pretty much with the 20 moving average, but this is also the 100 on, you see the purple moving average here. So no coincidence that that happens. The moving average is probably going to give us a little bit of a reaction. And again, we're getting into this oversold area, so maybe we start to bounce a little bit, go back up to like I said, that 590 or so, and get into the oversold area. But this could go much lower as well, and then form divergence before even getting the move up. All right, so we had negative divergence from this high to this high, and also we eked out a new high yesterday. So that was just really, really asking for a reversal there. Slow Stoke is starting to bounce. So now it seems as if this move needs to consolidate. In the beginning, it's really tough there for the momentum really needs to start to break down. We're just really getting back to the zero line. And if we start to break under into the bear territory, things can accelerate. DMARC. So we had that 9-9 sell signal. We were looking for a 13. Now we're getting 1 to the downside. Awesome oscillator, negative divergence starting to play out. Money flow, negative divergence starting to play out. Bollinger Band, we had our sell signal. Look how tight those bands are. Now we're going to start to expand it to the downside, it looks like. All right. We knew that a big move was coming because of how tight those Bollinger Bands are. Now it's time for those to play out, and it'll probably press on those Bollinger Bands very hard for a while. Maybe you can get a few bounces off of them, but eventually as the momentum heads to the downside, you'll see it ride that Bollinger Band. Just like on the way up, when you get into some big moves, it really likes to ride the top. Right, sold, hit it. You get some sells off there, but riding there. Same thing, but opposite way. All right, looked at all those. VIX. So on the 65, I want to show this one because we have a beautiful setup. Now, price is having a hard time getting over this 19 area, but look at the setup. We have a left shoulder, head, right shoulder out of this bullish falling wedge, this bullish falling wedge, back test, and now getting a move above. Now it's VIX expiration, VIXpiration, as they say, today. So after tomorrow, this could let loose and just really start to move. But look more into next week for it to have continuation. Not sure how the rest of the week's going to go, if it just wants to form some sort of reversal candle, a doji or so. So that might continue to go sideways for a little bit. But nothing is, can tell me that tomorrow it couldn't be a huge green candle into 23. Okay? I can't guarantee that it's not, or at least close the gap into 22. So we'll see, but just to be on the safe trade side, make sure your expirations are a little bit later than this week. All right, I think that's good for today. We have MJ looking good as usual. Looking for this to continue to the upside, but right now in a consolidation zone, that's fine. It could be a 1-2 nesting. Here, MSOS, just a little bit weaker, but I'd like to see some follow through with these coming up soon. And this might even make a new low here, and that's fine if it maybe this is an A, B, and we're looking for a 1, 2, 3, and this was all wave 4, and a 5 to make out a new low here, and would probably have a positive divergence if that happens. So if another setup happens, then I'll keep looking at this, and I'll set an alert for a new low to come here if it should want to, and that should be a nice objective long. Okay. All right, you guys, thanks for watching here at OptionsTender. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for all the support, you guys. We'll see you in the next video.